Unprofessional Movie Reviews with Mark and the beautiful Kristi. And we're doing the movie A Walk in the Woods. The way this works, if you've never seen these before, is we give you a teeny little synopsis of the movie without any spoilers, and then we say our positives, and then we say our negatives, and then we give you a tailorized rating in between 1 and 10, or 0 and 10, because I've given one lower than 1 before. It was The Room. It was really bad. Watch that review of it. Okay, do you have anything do you want to do the synopsis? Do you want to say what this movie's about? Okay.
I think you should.
You haven't said anything yet, so I just figured I'd let you. Okay, so this movie is starring the great Robert Redford, and in my opinion, some other people's not opinion, the great Nick Nolte. A lot of people know Nick Nolte by his really famous mugshot, but I love Nick Nolte from like the 80s in really, really, really good stuff like Cape Fear and 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy. Anyways, so it's these friends who lost contact 40 years ago, try to hike the Appalachian Trail in their old age, and literally, not saying this just as a joke, but literally, hilarity ensues.
Yes.
Okay, let's jump into positives.
Okay.
And you're taking over.
Okay, so my positives were the cinematography, yes.
Oh, the camera work.
It was amazing.
Beautiful movie.
The scenery was great. I liked the storyline, you know, they were like, oh, let's meet up, let's do this, and
yeah.
I liked their personalities too. Like, they were, like, different spectrums, but, like, it was, like, opposites attract in friendship, and I thought that was great.
Neither of them were bad, they were just different.
Yeah, they were
like,
just different.
These two friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that none of them, no one ended up
like
being the bad guy or anything.
Yeah,
they
but
were
one was,
just
like, the
different.
crazier one, and the other one was more, like, the reserved one.
Stick up his ass one.
Yeah, but, like, they formed, like, this cool relationship, and it was really funny to watch. And, just a lot of the lines were really good.
Oh, yeah. Really good scenes.
Good. I like that. So, I think those are my... I mean, like, overall, very positive for me.
Yeah.
So.
This movie, I thought I was gonna like. I really like this movie. I like this movie a lot more than I thought I was going to, and it's gonna be one of my most positive ratings this year. This movie came out of nowhere. I heard about it like 4 days ago. You heard about it today.
Today, yeah.
And I, like, saw the trailer, and I'm like, this looks really charming. And I did not think it's now going to be in my top, like, 10 of the year. Like, it's now up there for me. And it's like, yeah, no, I really like this movie. Yeah. The acting is really good. Nick Nolte is just fucking hilarious. Good. And, you know, if you don't know Nick Nolte, it's awesome. And that was so, his voice added so many good, like, they're trying to walk up this trail right up towards the beginning. They're walking up this trail, and they're like 15 feet away from the beginning of the trail that's like, you know, how many thousand miles, and they just started it, and he's already panting and walking, and then this whole gaggle of kids goes by, and he's like, all right, go ahead, and then they walk and just, little fuckers. And there was not a lot of people in the theater, and it sounded like when I went to a packed theater, like when I went to a packed theater to see Ted 2, there was laughter. It was just as loud with like an eighth of the people. There was like not a lot of people. Everyone was laughing out of the like, you know, 15 people in the theater. I think this movie's definitely underrated and more people. But this movie doesn't need 1,000 people to go to it. It wasn't made with a huge budget.
It was made for...
It was a little film to enjoy. And if you want to know if you like this, I'm going to say... It's not Oscar bait. It might be. Who knows? But I don't think that this movie doesn't look like it was. Yeah. It was made to be Oscar bait. Really good performances, and which I'll get to again. I'm talking about the positives for so long. And
it's okay. It's good.
And this isn't a summer blockbuster. It's not a throwaway genre film either. Yeah. It's not. It's just a little movie. And
it's like a feel good thing. Like
And it's
like
so
when you wake up
perfect.
On a Sunday morning, you're like, I want to watch this movie.
Honestly, this isn't, you don't have to drive out to the theaters for this, but if this comes out on Netflix or whatever, sit down and watch this movie. Yeah. You will love it. It is so charming. Anyways, now, she already said a lot of the things I completely agree with.
Yeah.
The shots of this movie, holy shit. They do a lot of
Amazing.
big, like, balloon shots, like, over the entire landscape. And you forget how beautiful this country is.
You kind of just appreciate it.
Oh,
almost.
yeah.
It makes you appreciate things.
Yeah, and it was, so pretty. And then my biggest positive of the whole movie is Nick Nolte's performance. Is Redford does Redford.
Yeah,
he doesn't really stand out to me as much as Redford. Like, he's as good as Redford usually is. Like, he's supposed to be good. Right. He was good. I haven't seen Nolte since, like Hulk Dogs in the old, like, the Ang Lee Hulk movie, and I hated him in that. I didn't think he was gonna make me drop my jaw, and there's a scene in this movie that made me tear up. And I don't tear up.
He does not.
I never tear up for movies. And I was like, doing this, she's like, what? And I'm like, I got fucking goosebumps. And then I'm like, and I think I teared up. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, there was a really emotional, beautiful scene.
Yeah.
And
it was intense. I think it speaks to, like, everybody on, like, a deep level.
I think you need to take your grandparents to this movie. Because this movie is for them. It wasn't really for us, and we still loved it. It's for the I'm not dead yet fuckers. Like I might be 60, but I'm doing shit. Like, or 70, and I'm doing shit. Yeah. I loved it. I loved it
too.
Okay, we can move on. I talked way too long for my positives. Sorry, I just had to say a lot of things.
It was important for you guys to know this.
But no movie's without its faults. What do you think are the negatives? Don't steal the one that I already told you I was going to do.
But that's, like...
Is that your only one? We can talk about it together if you want.
Let's talk about it together, because I think that's my biggest one.
It's my biggest.
It drives me nuts.
Yeah, no, it's my biggest.
I guess there's two.
I got a couple. But yeah, say...
Okay, I'll say mine. First of all, the one scene.
Yeah, so there's a scene... No spoil, we're not going to say where it is. There's a scene where... and it goes from one of the funniest parts. Yeah. Like, it leads right from one of the funniest parts of the whole movie, and I'm so in at this point. And then, like, they get into a car, like, hitchhiking really quickly. And the scene's, like, less than a minute. And they get into a car, and it's, like, drunk 20-year-olds driving. And this girl is like, he's gonna make an honest woman out of me. And I'm kind of like, okay, this is kind of funny. And they're drinking as they're driving. I'm like, okay, this scene's weird. And then the girl goes down on the driver right in front of the old man.
Like, it's just weird. Like,
what happened? Where did that scene come from? It has no point in the entire movie.
It's just so random.
And it took me out. I was like, what?
I didn't like that part at all.
I hate that scene. I think that scene, if that scene would have been cut, I would have been giving it a higher rating. And I'm already giving this a higher rating. Yeah. But that knocked it down like a full point.
No. And it did that a couple times in the movie where they would, like, start, like, the scene and, like, you'd feel something like, oh, like, maybe this is going somewhere. And then no. And then just end. Done. Yeah. Like, it has nothing to do with the story, really. And you're just like, oh. Okay.
And usually I like movies. Okay. Because, you know, I hate it when every movie I watch, every scene has a point. Like
not every scene has to be a point,
not every line of dialogue.
Like, smooth.
Like, if somebody says randomly to a character, like, I really like carrots, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, and then later you find out that the carrots have something to do with the storyline. That's just a stupid example, but I always hate that. It's like, you don't have to make every line of... People don't always talk like that.
Right.
I might just randomly say to you, I like carrots, and guess what? It's not going to affect our day.
Just go on about whatever.
And this movie had a lot of those, and I loved it, but it had a little bit too much.
Too much, I think.
Some
like, it
lines didn't help with character building.
It didn't go into the scene smoothly, though.
Yeah.
Like, if they would have just
like,
dropped
forced
it somehow,
in, and it doesn't really help.
Then it would have been fine, but then it was like, boom, and then boom, and you're like, but what about, but then...
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we are nitpicking, but that's how good this movie is. We do have to search.
Find something.
For,
But I think that's really my only negatives for this movie.
My other one, which is another really small one, and we were talking about this during the movie, because we were assholes.
Yes.
There was one storyline that didn't get a resolve, and I hate that. And I'm not going to say it at all. I'm not going to ruin this. We already ruined the scene. I'm not going to spoil another one. But But yeah, no, it was like this really kind of cool little storyline inside, and they just whatever, bye, here it goes. And I don't like that. I hate it when they drop storylines, especially promising ones.
Yeah, like don't put it in there.
Yeah,
just
I thought it.
Skip that or
yeah,
something.
or just
or do something crazy.
Or resolve it.
Or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, or resolve the story. With one line of dialogue. Hey, remember that time this was going on? I feel like this about it.
Yeah.
That's all it could have had.
I feel like if they really wanted to do that, they would have. And they
didn't.
And they did not.
Yeah, and that was their fault. That's why it's a negative. Okay.
Other than that.
Let's get to our really high ratings. Go see this adorable movie. It's like grumpy old men. It's just so happy. And that's what reminds me of this, but without as much of the grumpy and with a little bit more heartfelt.
Yeah.
There's no hiding dead fish, which is my other negative. That was the best part of grumpy old men. I love that. Okay,
you go.
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm giving this 8.5 bears. Those are my ridiculous bears.
This one is the best.
Yeah.
I'm getting
you
that
said
tattoo.
this one was earlier.
Oh, well, I like both of these, though.
Okay. Anyways, so
it's like...
if you've seen these, you know that I don't throw 8s around much. I think I did like a couple other 8s this year, and it was like Ex Machina and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, these are really... This is now one of my favorite movies of the year because it's just such a...
It's just like,
happy.
You're lighter.
Yeah, it made my day better. And today's already going to be great because Star Wars toys come on the shelf today. Okay. Anyways, go.
Mine is also an 8.5. Empty bottles of booze or spirits or whatever you want to call them.
She stole my number. I saw her writing or drawing the bottles. I'm like, damn it, I was going with empty whiskey bottles. Yeah. So I had to go with bears. Okay, 8.5 and 8. Go see this movie. I would like if you don't have anything going on this weekend, go see it because this movie deserves to make a little bit of money. It is better than most of the other movies out right now, and at least let's show the studios that we noticed this movie. So they don't. So they keep giving us movies like this. So they green light really small, pretty movies.
Yes, those are the ones we want. Right?
Yes, I want them. Especially
them.
this time of year when there's nothing
and
good.
I feel like our opinions are...
Yeah, or nothing. We haven't done a movie for 2 weeks. We haven't done a movie review for 2 weeks because nothing good comes out this season. I didn't want to go see Hitman or Transporter. Fuck it. So this is what we are doing, and I'm so glad we went and saw this movie. Do you have anything to say before I say the most important part?
No, I think you got it. I think we got this.
Okay. Bye!